variety. And then of course we'll have a quiz and stuff, all that good stuff tomorrow. All right, first off, energy is the ability, is the ability to do work. It's the first thing I need you to write down. Is that energy is the ability to do work. What we're going to talk about are the two types of energy getters or energy users and how they get their energy. And that's what chapters 8 and 9 are about. 8 and 9 will be together. We'll have a test on them together. All right, first of all, energy is the ability to do work. That energy that we talk about, that we use, is in the form of ATP. I need you to write down the word adenosine triphosphate. Adenosine triphosphate, ATP. That's what our cells use to store and to release energy. And ATP consists of an adenine, a 5-carbon sugar, which is a ribose, and then triphosphate. So we've got 3 phosphate groups, which PO4 is a phosphate group. Okay? The structure of it is a little bit important, but not nearly as important as what it does. So that is the energy getter and user in the cells. I'm not.
Is that PO4?
PO4. Alright, now the two ways that things use, or two types of organisms that use energy. The first one is heterotrophs, and of course we know that heterotrophs get their energy by doing what? Consuming other things. Okay, so heterotrophs have to consume other things to get their energy by eating plants, by eating other things that eat plants. Or if you're a mushroom and you decompose the organisms that are around you, all those are heterotrophs. And out from heterotrophs, what I want you to write down is, once you have this, is write down the word respiration. Okay, that's what we're coming to next. Tomorrow will be respiration. Heterotrophs get their energy by cellular respiration, which is the breakdown of that food particles into glucose, which will eventually release the ATP. Okay? And then, of course, the other energy user is autotrophs. And how do autotrophs get their energy?
They make their own food.
They make their own food. Very good. They convert sunlight into energy, into glucose, and that uses energy. And that's the process we're going to talk about here for the rest of the day. Autotrophs they can make their own food, and I want you to write down, you can just write down photo out from it instead of photosynthesis. Just put the word photo, because that's how we'll refer to photosynthesis and cellular respiration from here on out. Of course, that's light energy into energy that can be used by the cells of plants. Is everybody good? Can I go on to the next? Yeah? Okay.
It crashed.
Alright, now the energy that travels to the earth from the sun is in the form of light. That makes sense. Okay, that's how we get the energy from the sun. But what sunlight is a mixture of different wavelengths. And your eyes see those wavelengths at different nanometers or at different degrees, and that's how you can justify the different colors that you can see, is because of the different wavelengths. So the mixture of different wavelengths is what sunlight is, and of course that's your Roy G. Biv of your colors that you can see based on the wavelength. Alright, plants gather that energy, or that light energy, by absorbing that energy in something called a pigment. So pigments are how things absorb energy. Same thing in your skin. Got melanin in your skin that absorbs pigment. That's how you can get you a suntan. Okay, the main pigment in plants is chlorophyll. The main pigment in plants is chlorophyll. There are two types of chlorophyll, and it took a lot of time naming these. Chlorophyll A and chlorophyll B are the two types. And what chlorophyll A and chlorophyll B do is they absorb light all across the spectrum very well, except for green, which is why plants are green, because it absorbs the other wavelengths and it reflects the green back. So that's why we have plants. That's why most plants are green, because of that. Okay, so chlorophyll A and B absorb the other colors, reflect yellow and green. And that's why our plants look green.
Is that why pumpkins are orange?
Getting there. Plants also contain red and orange pigments. Those are called keratin, okay, or carotenoids. Carotenoids, they absorb light in the other region of the spectrum. So you have plants that have chlorophyll and plants that also have keratin in them that absorb, the keratin absorbs the other colors and reflects the red and orange, which is why that most of the time plants are green in color, because chlorophyll overwhelms the other pigment. But as we get closer to the fall time, like we're getting now, the temperature drops, the chlorophyll molecules break down, and it no longer reflects the green light, but it reflects the red, yellow, and orange light. And that's why we get the pretty colors of fall leaves during, well, actually next month or so, they'll start to change. Okay, that's because of the keratin,
Those
carotenoids in there, huh?
What's the type of brown?
It's a mixture of red and orange. Alright, inside those chloroplasts, or inside what makes the chlorophyll, are the chloroplasts. So you got chloroplasts that make The chlorophyll inside that chloroplast are these little things that look like Mentos that are stacked together, that you can see right here. Okay? Uh-oh. And they're called thylakoids. So chloroplasts have these little things inside of them that look like Mentos stacked on top of each other, and they're called thylakoids. And that's where the majority of the stuff that takes place through photosynthesis happens inside those thylakoids. Okay, your chlorophyll will absorb that sunlight, and the thylakoids kind of take the sunlight and produce the energy from it. We'll talk more about that tomorrow on how it happens. All right, during the process of photosynthesis, we have this molecule called NADP+, and all it does, all it's there for, is that it carries energy. We're going to look tomorrow at the cycle of how the energy gets pumped through the thylakoids and how it gets to different places of the plant, what it releases. And NADP+ is important because it carries the energy. You don't have to worry about the name of it, just know that NADP+ is an energy carrier. Alright, what I need you to write down now is that we'll do the definition. I know it's somewhat lengthy, but on the quiz tomorrow I'm going to ask you to give me a good Webster Dictionary version of photosynthesis. That's what it is. Photosynthesis uses the energy of sunlight to convert water and carbon dioxide into high energy sugars and oxygen. Underneath that, we've got the three formulas on how that photosynthesis can be notified on a question, on a test, or whatever it may be. And what we have is our products, our reactants, on one side, and on the other side of the arrow, we have our products. These are three different ways to write the same thing, all three of which you need to know. Okay, first we have carbon dioxide and water. Gives us C6H12O6, which is what, Dalton Jenkins? What molecule is that? C6H12O6. We've talked about it before.
Oh, sugar.
It's sugar. What type of sugar? What's the name?
Glucose.
Glucose, right? Which is glucose and oxygen. So that's the formula, reactants, and the products. Other ways that can be written are down here. I'm going to ask you to write all three of them tomorrow on your quiz. Okay? So you kind of know beforehand what I need you to do.
So do we need to write all that on
Yes.
Oh, so that's going down our quiz?
This will be, these three things will be on your quiz tomorrow. I'll say write down the three formulas, or the formulas in the three ways that I gave you yesterday, or give me the three formulas for photosynthesis, whatever it may be.
the end samples, like
The what?
the end samples, like
No, it's okay.
what's the R and the P?
Reactants, products. So we're going to talk about cell respiration tomorrow as well. What we're going to find out is that in cellular respiration, the reactants of photosynthesis are actually the products of, the products of photosynthesis are actually the reactants of cell respiration. They just switch. It's a big cycle. All right, that'll be the majority of your quiz tomorrow. Will be this. I'll ask you about sunlight. I'll ask you about heterotrophs and autotrophs. But that stuff should be common knowledge now. All right. The big thing here is these formulas for photosynthesis.